ESPN1420.com. Jay Walker, Ron Guidry, our guest. Ron, of course, will be inducted into the UL Hall of Fame this week, and I don't want the rest of the show to go by without acknowledging that. You know, this is something different is happening this year in that you're being inducted, and you're the only inductee this year. They've been putting 4 in every year for a long, long time, but they've said, no, this is your time, this is your day. And Saturday, I would imagine, Thursday also, especially, but Saturday also, it's going to be a special day for you, isn't it?
Well, it is. I'm of course, who wouldn't be happy if your college is acknowledging you into their Sports Hall of Fame? You know, it's quite a big honor. And for me, it's great because it's baseball, and baseball kind of get overshadowed, and I'm not knocking the football. I love the football. I love UL football. Always have. But, when you play one sport, that's your sport.
Sure.
And you play for that sport. And, UL has I like to think that the era that I played here was like that era that started to put UL baseball where it should be and where it's gotten to today, because we had good teams while I was here. When I left, they had very good teams here. They won the Gulf States Conference title a couple of years. But it seemed that baseball started to become a lot more broadened at that time. So, I'm glad for that. And then, Ken's right here, and I know for a long time that they've been working very hard, Coach Robichaux and the committee, to try to do this, and I'm very happy that, that I'm going in. It's been a while, but it's been worth the wait. And like I said when I first heard, it's not what makes me very, very happy is it just not affects only me, but it affects a lot of other athletes that are looking at athletes professionally, because you have the right to leave early. And if you don't graduate and you don't get a degree, but if you make your profession, it's not an insult that you don't have a degree. So I'm very happy that things have changed. I said, I wouldn't mind going in there with 2 or 3, 4 other guys. It doesn't have to be just me. I'm glad it is, but I'm glad for the way that it all worked out.
I remember writing a piece, I guess, about 3 years ago that was on our website, talking about the criteria and saying, can you just imagine? They're going to build this Hall of Fame, and when they get the new stadium, football stadium on the ground floor, I could just see a kid walking with his daddy holding his hand. Said, "Daddy, where's Ron Guidry?" Because at the time, it wouldn't have happened. And I remember saying then that something needs to happen for those people who went and left early because a profession was calling. And I'm glad they did it too, because I don't need to butter you up. I've known you long enough not to.
No, I don't want you to do that.
But there is no Hall of Fame without you, and I believe that, and I'm glad it's happening.
I know. Well, I know how hard Ken's worked on it. I know how hard, and I know Coach Robichaux too. And something happened to Coach Robichaux last year. When I tell you the story about they had a very nice article that was written from the Yankee magazine last year before, and they sent a film crew down here. They spent 3 or 4 days down here, and one afternoon it was basically spent on the UL campus. Of course, they wanted to see where the old park was located, so we had to go, and I had to explain how the field was made and everything else. And then we went to the new park, and they set up their cameras, and they took pictures, and I brought them to meet Coach Robichaux, and I said, okay, look, you have them for a couple of hours. I'm going to sit in the stadium. Okay, they don't need to talk to me. They want to talk to you. So, they went up, they walked all over. He showed them everything, and then they asked to go to see where I was in the Hall of Fame thing, and then he's not in there. And they couldn't understand why you're not. Well, he's just not in there. So I know that, I know, and from that time, I know that they've been working overtime to try to get this done. And of course, you're elated that it's finally over, and you're going to be. But like I said, it not only affects me, it affects a lot of other UL athletes that have the right to leave to pursue a professional career if their talent are good enough to let them do it. And they have some. And so consequently for them, if they leave and they make names for themselves, shouldn't be a problem to, one day to get into your college's Hall of Fame.
And the other thing that they did do is they've also made some administrators, and I'm speaking specifically about coaches now, that are going to be eligible because in the past they weren't eligible either.
They're not.
And so one day when they do the new thing, your commemoration will be in there, and Robe will be right next to you because Robe did, as a player, probably wasn't a Hall of Fame guy, okay, but as a coach, he certainly has been. I hope you have fun this weekend. I hope it's a great time for you and Bonnie and the kids and the grandkids.
My family is looking forward to it, so we're going to have a good time. But we always have a good time.
Man always has a good time, Ken. I love the way that happens. I appreciate you coming by and visiting with us. This is, I think this is a first for you and me. I think it's the first time we've actually sat together. I've done a lot of phone interviews with you.
We've done phone interviews, but like I said, this is the only other time I've ever done something like this before is when Yogi and I did a phone interview. I mean, a radio interview like this.
Let's not wait 30 years before it happens again. All right.
Let's not.
I appreciate you coming in, Ron. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Jay.
Ron Guidry, our guest on Bird's Eye View. I want you to stick around because the Sports Gap comes your way next on ESPN 1420 and .com.